Well, I'm here with Bernard Gallacher, OBE, former Ryder Cup player and captain, and he in turn is sitting alongside a trophy which represents 8 appearances in 8 Ryder Cups as a player, not to mention, of course, the 3 further appearances as Ryder Cup captain. Your first Ryder Cup, Bernard, 1969. What an extraordinary moment it must have been when you first learned of your selection.
Well, I would say it was my proudest moment. I mean, obviously you want to win the Open Championship and things like that, but you know, as a kid practicing at Bathgate Golf Club in Scotland, you really want to be in the team. You want to be in a team that's playing the Americans, and you know that you aspire to be in that side. You practice towards those aims, and when I got picked, and I got picked by Eric Brown, who was the captain in those days, I'd been having a good year. It was my second year as a pro, and I couldn't believe it when I got the phone call to say, you're picked, you're in the team, you're playing at Royal Birkdale, and you're playing in 4 weeks' time. I thought, great.
Of course, in those days, it wasn't Europe against the USA, it was Great Britain and Ireland, and, well, frankly, it was a little bit one-sided, wasn't it?
Well, it was one-sided up till 1969, but in 69 we thought we had a really good chance of winning, mainly because British golf was on a high. Tony Jacklin just won the British Open, and we felt we could win. We had a good balance of young players and experienced players. Peter Allis played in that side, Christy O'Connor, Neil Coles, Peter Butler, and then other young players were coming through like myself, Brian Barnes, Peter Townsend, Maurice Bembridge, and of course it was led by Tony Jacklin. I mean, our chests were really puffed out because we knew we had the best player in the world on our side at that particular moment in Tony Jacklin, and we had a very good captain, Eric Brown, very inspirational captain, and we thought we had a very good chance.
Mm. As you move through the years, I suppose one of the most humiliating, in a sense, results was the one at Walton Heath, wasn't it, in 1981? And that was an American dream team, wasn't it? I mean, what was it like to play against that?
Well, we knew it was going to be a difficult week. John Jacobs was the captain. He was a great captain, but we had a problem with Seve. Seve was the #1 player in the world, and he should have been in that side. But Seve, at that moment, was in dispute with the European Tour, and John wasn't able to pick him. So we went into that match minus the best player in the world. Now, on the other side, the American side, they had, as you say, the dream team. They had Jack Nicklaus, they had Trevino, they had Casper, they had Jerry Pate, who was the Open champion. They had a fantastic side, and you know, I think if one particular match pushed us into being a European side, it was probably the one-sided nature of that contest.
And you've obviously welcomed the introduction of the European team, and it is obviously now much more a well-balanced competition. Europe, of course, currently the holders of the Ryder Cup. But of all of those 8 events that you played in, which was the most outstanding for you?
Well, one of the most outstanding for me, and I wasn't a player, it was the first match I didn't play in since 1969, was 1985 at the Belfry, when we actually won the Ryder Cup for like the first time since 1957, when Sam Torrance holed that putt. You know, it was an iconic moment.
Who can forget it?
Iconic moment for European and British golf when Sam holed that putt at the Belfry and they go on and beat the Americans. And really, we haven't looked back since. If you consider that between 1927, when it first started, the Ryder Cup, until 1985, I think we only won the Ryder Cup on 2 occasions. But since 1985, we've actually won the Ryder Cup more. And that's really down to a number of things, but in recent years it's down to the strength of a European tour.
And you've been part of that success story as a captain, of course,
yes.
In 1995, I think that was.
Well, 91, 93, 95.
Yes, but on the 3rd attempt as captain, you brought the cup.
Yeah, it was a great moment. You know, you couldn't really single out one particular player. You know, a captain never wants to single out a player, but I mean, in that, Nick Faldo holing that putt from 4 feet against Curtis Strange, having been, I think he was 2 down with 3 to play, and he won the last 3 holes, and then having this 4-foot putt, he had to hold that putt so that we couldn't lose the Ryder Cup. But a lot of people think that by him holing that putt, we won the Ryder Cup. We didn't. We now couldn't lose. The other player that I would like to mention was Philip Walton, because he was playing Jerry Haas in the second last match. We needed him to win. We needed him to continue beating Jerry Haas for us to win. And so there was 2 players really, you know, they were all great players, but two big moments were Nick Faldo holding that important putt and beating Curtis Strange, and Philip Walton from Ireland beating Jerry Haas in the last green.
What are the particular challenges of being a Ryder Cup captain?
Well, there's a lot of challenges, but it's a much easier job than people think, mainly because the players are very cooperative. I mean, I always found, as a player, when I was a player, I wanted to do everything possible for the captain. And if the captain said, I'm not playing, that's fine. If the captain says, I'm playing with so-and-so, that's fine. And so, you know, the players are anxious to do well for the captain. The captain's been picked because he's played in Ryder Cups and he's well respected by the players, he knows the players. And then after that, the week is done by making it, from a captain's point of view, I felt my job was just to make the players feel relaxed, make them enjoy the week, and try and play their best. And you know, even if they didn't, then you try to make them feel as if they're not letting anyone down, they're doing their best. And one of the most difficult things from a captain is if one of your players is struggling on the course and you're watching him, and you know he's struggling, you know the harder he's trying, the more he's struggling. And you know, at the end of the round, you've got to be able to put your arm around their shoulder and say, well, you did your best, and you'll get another chance tomorrow to play. You know, there's a lot of facets to the captaincy.
So your style as a captain was more of a kind of cuddler, if you like, than as a tub thumper in the locker room. You know, no rousing speeches particularly.
Well, you're being optimistic all week. I wouldn't say there was one particular rousing speech, because the minute you're a captain and the minute you've got players in your team, and the minute you have a team, you're optimistic all the time. You're speaking to them in positive terms. And you're just continuing, like, you know, great, you're going to join us, we're going to win this match, and you know, and everyone's going to play before singles. So if you don't play in a particular match, don't worry, you'll definitely play before singles, and it keeps them on their toes. And it's more by consensus, I would say, the captaincies I had. I mean, I would ask a few of the experienced players like Seve or Nick Faldo, who maybe they wanted to play with, and where do you think I should position them in the draw and the singles. And you know, actually I had in my mind where they were going to do it anyway, but you can sort of win them over to your point of view. And I think that's the way you sort of play it.
Final thought, Bernard. How do you see the future of the Ryder Cup?
Well, I see Europe very strong. I don't see them being strong forever, because the Americans have got this terrific ability to bounce back. They've got such a sort of conveyor belt of fantastic players over there. We know Tiger's not the Tiger of old at the moment, but there'll be another Tiger will come through. But Europe, I think we've got to enjoy what Europe's doing at the moment, and we've got some fantastic players. I know we won the Ryder Cup the last time. We had a great team, but you know, we only won like on the 17th green in the singles, and we didn't, although we had moments when we dominated that middle, when they converged both series and we won 6 matches. But despite winning those 6 matches in the middle of the Ryder Cup, we actually only won it on the 17th thanks to Graham McDowell. And when Nick Faldo captained at Valhalla the last time in America, I thought we had a fantastic team over there. And Paul Azinger's inspirational captaincy made sure the Americans won, and they won comfortably by 4 points. And so I wouldn't assume that although Europeans will have more top 10 players in the next Ryder Cup than the Americans, I wouldn't assume that will give us a guarantee to success. It will be a close match. But really, that's what the Ryder Cup's all about. It's all about close matches. It's great for golf.
That's an answer about the balance of power between Europe and the United States. But what about the Ryder Cup as a format, as a brand for golf?
Well, I think golf needed the Ryder Cup. I think golf needed what happened at Celtic Manor, because this will inspire people to come into golf. I mean, I feel, yes, okay, we know the bread and butter of the pro is a 72-hole event every week, but it can sometimes, apart from the majors, which brighten things up, apart from the majors, it can become a little bit boring to watch from a spectator point of view, just switching on television. But when the Ryder Cup's there every 2 years, it's now hard competition, and it's two sides fairly evenly matched, going at each other. And I think that is good for golf. I thought what happened at Celtic Manor, I thought what happened when Ricky Fowler held those 2 putts at 17th and 18th, and Colin Montgomery said, oh, we might not win this now, and he's scampering around the course wondering where his next point's going to come from. And then he goes up to say Graham McDowell, who thinks he was going to have a nice afternoon off where he was, and we're going to win this, and I'll just walk down here. He said, no, Graham, we need now you to win. And I know what Graham said, and I don't want to repeat it here. He said, oh, why me? But why him indeed? He's the US Open champion. That's why he's US Open champion. But I thought Ricky Fowler, a fantastic player and advert for the American side, to hold those 2 crucial putts, 17 and 18. It was just unbelievable to extend the matches. And then for Graham Dowell to birdie 16 the way he did and then win it on the 17th, I thought that was great for golf. And the important thing from the golf point of view is that will inspire people in golf and bring people into golf.
Bernard Gallacher, thank you very much.